What's up, everybody, man? It's your boy, Mr. Duga, coming at y'all with another video, man. And today, man, I'm going to preview and predict the big-time Fiesta Bowl matchup between the number 11 ranked LSU Tigers and the number 8 ranked UCF Knights. First with my Tigers, man, it's been a good year. We came into this year with a lot of unknowns. We didn't really know what the quarterback position was gonna be like. We knew we got Jambalaya Joe, who transferred in from Ohio State. We didn't really know what to expect. All we knew was that we figured Urban Meyer had a good grasp on quarterbacks and that he didn't win the job at Ohio State. Then, we came in with questions at the running back position. There was no Leonard Fournette. There was no Darius Geis. Nick Brissett, he's been around for a while, but he hasn't really had great success before this season. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who, shout out to him with prayers for him with the situation. Him and the other guy is in with the death of the man who tried to rob, had to defend himself with somebody trying to rob him. Prayers to him and his family in this very difficult time. But yeah, like nobody really knew what we had in him. He didn't really play too much last season like that. Receivers, like we lost DJ Chalk. We lost Russell Gage. The receiving core was pretty much unknown. We knew we was gonna have a solid defense. We knew we had players, like Clavion Chasesaw coming back, who unfortunately tore his ACL the first game. We knew we had, the big homie Rashard Lawrence coming back. We knew we had our all-world linebacker Devin White coming back. We knew we had our all-world corner Greedy Williams coming back. We knew Grant Delpit was a solid player, but this year he became a star this year though. He elevated his game, and now Grant Delpit is a superstar back there in that secondary. It was a lot of unknowns. Some people was like 6-6, 7-5. Even a few people try to throw out 5-7. The big win, man, to open the season against the Miami Hurricanes. Really big win. Really, really big win at the time to beat Auburn on the road. A tough loss against Florida on the road, but we were competitive in that game. A humongous win at home against at the time, the number 2 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Some more nice wins, man. A nice win against Mississippi State. Because at the time they was playing really well. A pretty embarrassing loss to Alabama. That loss was a bit disappointing. Not necessarily because we lost, but the way we lost. And a tough loss to end the season against A&M in this long 7 overtime game. But with all that being said, we here. We in the New Year's Six Bowl. It's our first, this the biggest bowl game we've been in since the 2011-2012 national championship game against Alabama. We got a great recruiting class coming in. We still got some more players we trying to get. LSU is doing good, man. We on the rise. As far as UCF, last year these guys, they had Scott Frost as their head coach. They went undefeated. They played the Auburn Tigers in the Peach Bowl and they beat them, pretty handily, which they've claimed themselves as national champs, which honestly I think is a little ridiculous, but hey, different strokes for different folks. Coming into this year, they had another great year, undefeated again, but unfortunately for them, in the South Florida game, their big-time quarterback, Mackenzie Milton, had a pretty gruesome leg injury. And obviously, he was out for the rest of the season. He's out this game, obviously. In come Darriel Mack. And he played solid the rest of that game. Then there's their conference championship game against Memphis, where they fell behind pretty good. Credit to Darriel Mack and that offense. They came all the way back. They won. They're AAC champions. They got the longest winning streak in the country at 25 games. They coming into this game trying to make a statement. They believe that they belong in the college football playoff. They coming into this game trying to make a statement. They beat a SEC West team last year. They trying to knock off another one this year. It's a very intriguing matchup, man. It's a very, very intriguing matchup. This team, this UCF team, they're not a Power Five school, obviously, but they have some talent. In the state of Florida, there's so much talent to pick from. Whereas even if a guy doesn't get to go to Florida or Florida State or Miami or something like that, teams like, UCF, South Florida, and those schools could still get a really good player because the talent level in the state of Florida is that deep, you know? They got a high power, even though they lost their quarterback, they still got a high-powered offense, an offense that could score in the blink of an eye. Defensively, they're a little smaller, but they got speed. They got some speed over there. As far as us, we know offensively, at times we're a little stagnant. At times the passing game isn't very great and efficient. But Jambalaya Joe is a warrior. He can run the football. Yeah, if you give him a good pocket and if somebody gets open most of the time, he's going to hit the receiver. It's just we don't do it on a consistent enough basis. Justin Jefferson has been a really, really good all-SEC type receiver this year. The problem is, you've had guys like Jonathan Giles who's underachieved. We thought he was going to be big time, and he hasn't done anything this season. Terrence Marshall and Jamar Chase, they're young, they're freshmen, and they're not quite ready to really, roll consistently like that. D. Anderson is a veteran receiver that has great upside, but for some reason, we can't get him consistently going. Derek Dillon is a nice little slot receiver, but for some reason, we can't get him consistently going. Foster Moreau at tight end, I don't think we throw to him enough. Running the football, Nick Brissett is solid. Clyde Helaire is solid. Defensively, man, we could use a little more of a pass rush, but Rashard Lawrence is pretty good there in the middle. Michael Devin has he's given us a little spark. Devin White is playing in this game. He's our all-world linebacker. He does everything out there. We're going to be missing our other linebacker, Jacob Phillips, from the first half for a targeting call. In the secondary, we're going to be missing Greedy Williams. We're going to be missing Christian Fulton. But we got Grant Delpit back there, who's a steady hand back there at that safety position. When I look at this matchup, I think UCF is going to play us hard. I think this is not going to be an easy game. I feel like we're more talented. I feel like we're more physical, but the fact that they may be more motivated than us, maybe, and the fact that they're underdog in this game. Even though they rank favorite, more people expect LSU to win this game than they expect UCF to win this game. I feel like the key to LSU is to run the football. We have to load up, play action pass just to Jefferson down the field. We got to start using the tight end. We got to start throwing to Foster Moreau a little more. Play action pass, man. Run the ball with Brissett. If Clyde Helaire, I'm assuming he's going to play in this game with everything going on. But run the ball with him and Brissett. Play action pass into Jefferson. Throw a little pop passes to Moreau here and there. And the other receivers got to step up a little bit. I feel like they corners shouldn't be able to cover all these receivers. Defensively, just be fit. Dave Aranda is the best defensive coordinator in college football. Darriel Mack, even though he's played pretty well, he's not very experienced. And he's not going to see a defense, not only a talented defense, but not just for us, like I said, not just for as talent-wise, but schematically, he hasn't seen a defense like he's going to see in the Fiesta Bowl his whole life. He hasn't seen a defense like that in his whole life up to this point. I know Josh Heupel, their first year head coach, who's done a great job taking over for Scott Frost. I know he's going to come up with some stuff to try to get him more comfortable, some rollouts and quick passes. But he hasn't seen a defense in a scheme like this. He just hasn't. Boils down to it, man. I think LSU wins this game. I think it's going to be a little closer than, we would like it to be. Because I just think UCF is, I respect what they've done. I respect everything they got going on. They got this long winning streak. I know they got pride. They don't want to just let it go. But at the same time, we got pride too. This is a big game. This is New Year's Six game. Yeah, this is a big game for recruiting. This is a big game to let people know, look, the SEC is nothing to play with. And I think we pull this game out 27-20. I think LSU beats UCF 27-20. I think Brissett has a solid game on the ground. I think UCF hit us for a couple of plays, but whenever it counts, I feel like Dave Aranda is going to draw up something, and I feel like players like Devin White and Grant Delpit are going to be the difference in the game. These are first-round draft pick players, and they're going to step up and make plays when it's necessary. Yeah, I like my LSU Tigers to beat the UCF Knights in the Fiesta Bowl 27-20, therefore ending the 25-game win streak for UCF and also giving LSU a 10-win season with a great recruiting class, hopefully even a better recruiting class. We get a couple of more people in February. Coming into next year, which should be a year with obviously much more expectations than we had coming into this season. But with that being said, man, that's all I got for y'all today. Appreciate y'all checking out the video. Go and give me a subscribe, man. I'm going to have LSU content throughout the season. Y'all have a blessed one. Go Tigers.